Okay, so something I'm doing today is trying to get all these cables over um, here that I broke up from a custom cable. This was a custom sort of whirlwind style, but it was a custom connector, and this connector itself was hooked up to a rack. Um, that connection is like that racking connection is no longer available because it was disposed of or transferred a long time ago. So all I got was this cable with just this end. I would have had to make a separate connector. This is more in a actual venue environment as opposed to home use. And I still have the like actual cable here. So what I did with this was just slice it open with an X-Acto knife. It's a bit of a waste, but just for getting this hooked up, I needed to make custom XLR because I didn't have females, and it's like $100 or $50 for eight cables. So it's actually fairly costly just for the cable connectors, but each of these is around $1. Can probably get them in bulk for less, but for 20, like 10 male, 10 female, it's like $20. You may be able to find them for less. They're fairly cheap, I'm guessing, but they'll work for what I need to do, just for getting all my connections directly connected for direct inputs and outputs, and the matrix connections. I'm still waiting on the interface. It's sort of in a back order situation now, so I have a bit of time just to prepare with that. I sort of like to use this as the patch bay of sorts. Again, I sort of have stuff strewn around a bit, but I'd sort of like to use this more of a patch bay because I have 16 line inputs and then the ADAT. And then what I'm doing now is testing because I didn't actually know how these ends were. I didn't know how these ends were soldered, and I didn't want to break them open to find out. So I just did one test piece here, and I have this tester, which was like more than $20. But you can probably find them used for less. But it's a solid construction by Behringer. It's like metal. I'm guessing steel or aluminum or some type of alloy, but it's pretty basic. This is like an ATEM 1, but it provides test stones as well as cable tests. So just for an example here, hopefully this will work. You have your input and your output, and then you just turn it into on for test. Now it's on and it's showing as pass, so I had to solder this one, so it's a little bit touchy probably, but it's pretty basic just to do a basic solder. I have a little out of practice with soldering, but then you can also take your output. Maybe turn that off first. Oh, I think I just fucked that up. Oh, because I was unplugging it. Okay. And then you can plug it into your, need a sweep here again too. Popcorn yesterday. Okay. You can then plug it in to your interface. In this case, it's the Zen Q. And then you can go back to this just so that I have it tested here. What you have here, again, it's a mess. I'm being a little bit messy with the Apollo just sort of sitting there because I was doing stuff back there. But so on line 5, I can go to like an oscillator. And then on the headphones here, it's coming in out through here. That's really loud though. So I can switch off the oscillator and go to the mic and the preamp input for preamp 3, which is this connection here. And then using this, oh, I actually did. Okay, so that's the cable test, just static, but it's actually the test tone that I'm looking for. So this is at minus 30. That's minus 50 rather, minus 10, plus 4. So it's a quick way of testing the cable to make sure a signal is actually getting through. which also let me know that it was soldered correctly. But I have all these connectors, like 20 connectors to do. I may just do 10 for now. It's very cheap. Newer, it's probably Chinese brand or something. But for one bundle of 8 cables, which is only 4 of those strands, like basically 4 of these, it's like $50. So $50 to $100 depending on which one, and it could be more. So it can add up pretty quickly. Yeah. So this is sort of what I'm at while I'm waiting for the interface to arrive. I'd like to get all 10 of the channels. I have 2 more, and I have a bundle of 8 going, so that's like 20 inputs, 20 outputs, which is getting close to what I'm doing. But I have more. I have like room for more connectors, but I need to order more of these to do it. So I might order another pack of that and do the other ones. I'm not sure what I'm going to terminate them all. They're all TRS, which is fine for the interface. But this console is, or mixing board console, mixing console is all XLR, except for the effects insert. So it's XLR male, XLR female. I'm not sure if I can actually even get back there. Whoa. So it's all XLR male and XLR female. So I just have these here to organize them right now. But the actual inputs that need to be wired for are there. So it's like they can take A and B, so they can take 2 each, but I'll probably use them as 1-to-1. And then there's like probably, how many is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So 28, 29, 30 channels. And then there's 4 or 8 more that are over here that are also terminated though on as XLRs. So that's 4, I guess, that are terminated on XLR. So that's like 24 channels to work with, which is okay to start with, or 32 channels. So that's 16 stereo channels, and most of these are mono channels. So that's most of the mixing board for inputs and outputs. And then I have 8 female and 8 male TRS to XLR connectors coming too. So that's 8 more. So like it's almost this entire board hooked up for the basic channel inputs and outputs, which since the audio interface is limited to 16 ADAT and 8 preamps for the SSL 18. For direct inputs, if I'm going to the Behringer DDX 3216 as a patch for the ADAT in and out through the ADAT 16, then I'm still basically running all the channels I can run, and it's sort of awkward to use all 56 channels or 48 channels and the matrix outs and whatnot. So it's probably going to be matrix grouped out for some of them, and then I'll have direct input and output for things that I commonly use, like maybe drums or a couple instruments and maybe outboard or something. But these wires are a pretty simple thing to do. And because I got the bundle of cables for the effects rack, but the rack itself wasn't available, I'm putting the cables to reuse, and they're probably good enough for what I'm doing. Anything else with that? Yeah, I think that's all that needs to be mentioned for that. So the Behringer DDX 3216, the Soundcraft Series 5, all these XLR and TRS connectors, and then the newer XLR 10 and 10 male, 10 female. And finally, just some solder, and the cable tester is optional, but I think it's pretty useful to have just for testing to make sure the solder is done properly. And if you have uncertain of what goes to what, then it's good for figuring that, and the test tone for having the test tone to verify that the signal is going through. And that's what I wanted to make the video about.